proclaim it Westmoreland through my host, that he who hath no stomach for this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns of convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company, and fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe on the day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Christmas Day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, even their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall never go by, from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. Be few, be happy few, be band of brothers, for he that sheds his blood with me today shall be my brother. Be he never so vile, this day shall judge his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, while any speaks who fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
Hey.
Hello, I'm Peter Drew, and I'll be doing Stopping by the Woods at a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. You will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bell a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Hello, my name is Jay Drury, and I'll be doing the armor of God. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of the Spirit, take up the shield of truth, with which you can extinguish all of the flaming arrows that comes from the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of truth, which is the word of God.
I'm Meredith Entries.
I'm Gracia.
And we'll be doing Other Places
You'll Go
by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You could steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets. They'll come over with care. About time you will say,
I don't choose to go there.
with your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you choose not to go down any nonsense street. And you may not find any you want to go down. In that case, of course, run straight out of town.
It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsie as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best to the best. Wherever you go, you'll top all the rest. Except when you don't. Because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true. That bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you.
You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on, you'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down to that lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. A place you could spend with your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in?
go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or a phone, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or the waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone's just waiting.
Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a bed or bake, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a room with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting.
No!
That's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting thing. You'll find a bright place where boom bands are playing, with banners that sounding like money ride high, ready for anything under the sky, ready to be cut to that kind of a guy.
Oh, the places you'll go.
There is fun to be done. There are toys to be scored,
There are games to be won.
and the magical things you can do with that ball.
Will make you the winningest winner of all.
Fame. You'll be as famous can be.
With the whole wide world watching you win on TV. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 and 3/4% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Boxman or Bixie or Bray.
Or Mordecai Young and Alan O'Shea.
Your mountain is, you're off to great places.
Today is your day.
Your mountain is waiting.
So
Get on your way.
Hello, my name is Dirk Bragg, and I will be doing Look After My Captain by Walt Whitman. Look after my captain. A fearful trip is done. The ship is weathered every wreck. The prize we saw is risen. The port is near, the bells I hear. People all will follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But our heart, of the bleeding drops of wrath. It is some dream that on the deck you fall cold and dead. Look after my captain. Rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores are crowded, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Dear captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead.
My captain does not answer.
My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound. The ship is anchored safe and sound.
Its voyage
Its voyage closed and done.
from fearful trip.
From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object one. Exalted ashores, the rain will go. The hour form from tread. Walk the deck, my captain lies fallen cold and dead.
Hello, my name is Lex Nardoni, and I'll be filming The Landing now by Robert Louis Stevenson. From breakfast on all through the day, at home among my friends I stay, but every night I go abroad, afar into the land and not. All by myself I have to go, with none to tell me what to do, all alone beside the streams, nothing outside the dreams. The strangest things are there for me, both things to eat and things to see, many frightening sights abroad, to morning a land and not. Try as I like to find a way, I never can get back by day, nor can remember plain and clear the curious music that I hear.
Our final piece is a cruise.
Thankfully, the final piece won't be me trying to recite something. So, my name is Scott Drury, and I work for World Hope International, and this year the class has partnered with us to get sponsors for their memorization. So these words are translating into what we're on track for is $1,500 from this group, and we'll be matching that. So that's $3,000. That's 200 people that'll get clean water. And we like to say that when we do wells in Africa, what we're really doing is helping more 5-year-olds have birthdays. And so I want to thank all the students here for doing such a great job and helping celebrate more 5th birthdays.
Hello everyone, I'm Rashad, and I will be telling you about my experience with Memory Masters. The first day I came to Memory Masters, when I got my first memorization, which was the Declaration of Independence, I was so overwhelmed. When I got home, I thought I could never do it. But every class I got stronger and stronger, and I even won Best Actress Award twice. But I couldn't have won those actress awards if my friend Meredith hadn't taught me how to be an actress. My teacher, Ms. Escher, she pushed us off this year, and that's how I memorized so much. Our last memorization, which was Dr. Seuss, what me and Meredith said, was I memorized over 9,035 words. Well, no, 3,000 words. And Dr. Seuss was my last memorization, which was 935 words, and that was what got me to 3,103 words. So I will, next year, if you are through 8th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you can join the class. Thank you.
My name is Gil Concepcion, and I want to tell you about my experiences in Memory Masters. Last school year, I came into this class not wanting to memorize, and when I heard that we had to memorize St. Crispin's Day speech, I was so freaked out. I got home, and I was really stressed, so I spent the next 2 weeks procrastinating until the last 3 days. And I decided that I was going to stop and rush over trying to memorize it. The next week, I came into class, and I saw that everyone in the class had been that stressed out during the past 2 weeks. And so I didn't feel so bad. And throughout the year, I got better and better until halfway through the year, my memory muscles, and Mrs. Escher calls them, kicked into gear. I could memorize everything that she'd throw at me, from the Gettysburg Address to Patrick Henry's speech. And so I ended up, at the end of the year, being the first person to recite Paul Revere's Ride, which is 993 words with no mistakes. Wow. I would like to recite that for you right now.
Woo.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive remembers that famous day and year. He said to his friend of the British march by land or sea from the town tonight, in a lantern aloft in the belfry arch of the North Church Tower as a signal light. One if by land, two if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be, ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm, for the country folk to be up and to arm. Then he said goodnight with muffled oar, silently rowed to the Charleston shore. Just as the moon was over the bay, where swinging wide every morning's way, the Somerset British man of war. A phantom ship with each mast and spar, across the moon like a prison bar, and a huge black hope that was magnified by its own reflection in the tide. Meanwhile, his friend through alley and street wanders and marches with eager ears, till in the silence round he hears muster of men at the barrack door, the sound of arms and the tramp of feet, and the measured tread of the grenadiers marching down to the Brooklyn shore. Then he climbed the tower of the old North Church by the wooden stairs with stealthy tread to the belfry chamber overhead, and startled the pigeons from their perch on somber rafters that round him made masses in moving shapes of shade. By the trembling ladder, steep and tall, to the highest window in the wall, where he paused to listen and look down, a moment on the verse of the town, from the moonlight flowing over all. Beneath in the churchyard lay the dead in their night encampment on the hill, wrapped in silence so deep and still, that he could hear like a sentinel's tread, the watchful night wind as it went, creeping along from tent to tent, and seeming to whisper, all is well. A moment only he feels the spell of the place in the hour, and the secret dread of the lonely belfry and the dead. For suddenly all his thoughts are bent on a shadowy something far away where the river widens to meet the bay, a line of black that bends and floats on the rising tide like a bridge of boats. Meanwhile, impatient to mount and ride, booted and spurred with a heavy stride, on the opposite shore Paul Revere. No, he patted his horse's side, no, he gazed at the landscape far and near. Then impetuous stamped the earth, and turned and tightened his saddle girth, but mostly he watched with eager sorts the belfry tower of the old North Church, as it rose above the Grizzled Hill, lonely and spectral and somber and still. And lo, as he looks on the balcony's height, a glimmer, and then a gleam of light. He springs to his saddle, the bridle he turns, but lingers and gazes still full on his sight. The second lamp in the belfry burns. A hurry of hooves on a village street, a shape in the moonlight, a bulk in the dark, and beneath from the pebbles when passing a spark. Struck out by a steed, flying fearless and fleet. That was all, and yet, through the gloom and the light, the fate of a nation was riding that night. And the spark struck out by that steed in his flight, kindled the land to flame with defeat. He has left the village and mounted the steep, and beneath him tranquil and broad indeed is a mystic meeting the ocean tides, and under the alders that skirt its edge, now soft on the sand, now loud on the ledge, is heard the tramp of the steed as he rides. It was full by the village clock when he crossed the bridge into Bedford town. He heard the crying of the cock and the barking of the farmer's dog, and felt the damp of the river fog that rises after the sun goes down. It was won by the village clock when he galloped into Lexington. He saw the gilded weathercock come in the moonlight as he passed, and the meeting house windows, black and bare, stare at him with a spectral glare, as if they already stood aghast at the bloody work they would look upon. It was too by the village clock when he came to the bridge at Concord town. He heard the bleating of the flock and the twitter of birds among the trees, and felt the damp of the morning breeze blowing over the meadow ground. And one was safe and asleep in his bed, who at the bridge would be first to fall, who that day would be lying dead, pierced by a British musket ball. You know the rest in the books you have read, how the British regulars fired and fled, how the farmers gave them ball for ball from behind each fenced farmer's wall, chasing the redcoats down the lane and crossing the fields to emerge again, under the trees at the turn of the road, and only pausing to fire and load. So through the night rode Paul Revere, and so through the night rode his cry of alarm, through every Middlesex village and farm, a cry of defiance and not a fear, a voice in the darkness, a knock at the door, and a word that shall echo forevermore. Born in the night wind of the past, through all our history to the last. In the time of darkness and peril and need, the people will awaken and listen to hear the hurrying hoofbeats of that steed and the midnight message of Paul Revere.
All right.
Our final recitation is a group recitation from the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. He made this speech standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial that hot August day, 1963. Reverend King was speaking from a pre-written speech, and the crowd was growing restless. He was just one of a long program that day, and he had said nothing about a dream so far, nor did he intend to.
But then something amazing happened. Suddenly, a woman, a gospel singer, and a good friend of the King's called out from the audience.
Tell about your dream, Martin. Tell about your dream.
Martin Luther King stopped a moment, smiled at his friend, and pushed aside his prepared speech. His speechwriter watched him and said to the person next to him, "These people don't know it, but they're about to go to church." and the Reverend Martin Luther King started preaching that day with no notes, no preparation, just his heart and his God. And this is what the people heard.
I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
I have a dream that one day this nation shall rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. The holy truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood.
I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a desert state, sweltering with the heat of injustice and oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day the state of Alabama will be transformed into a situation where little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white girls and white boys and walk together as sisters and brothers.
I have a dream today.
I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
This is our hope. This is the faith which I return to the south.
With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountain of despair, stone,
With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangle and discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day.
This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with a new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
And if America is to be a great nation,
This must become true.
So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the hiking Alleghenies of Pennsylvania.
Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado.
Let freedom ring from the convicted peaks of California.
But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia.
let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill in Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
When we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty, we are free at last!
All right.
Thank you for coming, everybody, and join us for refreshments in our text.
All right. Isn't that awesome?
That was fabulous.
Oh, man.
Oh, Marcy, I loved Caleb's Paul Revere ride. Such a great job.
Freaked out does not begin to describe how fun that
Well, it was quite a little testimony, you know?